the power of the center and the role of the state. To understand how things work in the administrative structure and divisions of countries, you always need to look at whether you have a strong central authority or a strong state center, and then the outlying regions, which are often poorer. In such cases, the center helps the peripheries to sustain themselves, to rise up, and to develop. The people living in these peripheral areas always think about loyalty to the state because there are benefits. The dilemma in Syria is that the distribution of its underground resources is unfair. Let's get into some important details. Northeastern Syria is a very rich area in terms of cotton, wheat, and other resources. Deir ez-Zor also has gas and agriculture. If we go to Aleppo, it is a barren city with no underground resources at all, only trade, and exclusively within the city itself. As for the countryside of Aleppo, it is an empty area with nothing. The coast, if you look at the Syrian coast, there is a port, and there is potential for investment within the port. They say there is gas, but we don't know for sure. If we go to the city of Homs, there is nothing in Homs. Homs is just a passageway between Damascus and the coast. It has no significance as a city, just a crossing to Lebanon, and there is smuggling there. There is phosphate in Knefis. This is a mineral wealth, and there is some happiness in that. If we go to Damascus, there is nothing. In the past, people used to praise it, saying it had the Barada River, the Ghouta, orchards, and so on. Now if you go, you find barren areas. In my opinion, the city of Damascus is the center. It is higher than all the other regions. Let me prove this point to you. If we go south, we have the Dara region. Dara is the most abundant place for vegetables. Tomatoes, cucumbers, all of that comes from Dara. So they have production. Idlib has olives. North of Aleppo, you have Afrin and those areas which also have olives. What does Damascus have? As-Suwaida has grapes, it has something to offer. Damascus has nothing. So our problem in Syria is that our center, the capital, is elevated above the rest of Syria. It's the opposite of other countries, where the distinguished state is always the center, which has resources and administrative capabilities, and the surrounding areas receive services from it. So, our brothers from Damascus, calm down a bit with us, don't keep acting so superior, and please bear with this, you're elevated above the general Syrian society as a whole. So, the idea that you come to rule Syrian society and impose your control over it, you do that in one area only, the academic and scientific field. Today, is the scientific level in Damascus really higher than the rest? I'll tell you, it's a bit better, but let's not exaggerate. And this is a fundamental indication that there's a problem at the center. The center has a huge population density, and this density is frightening and illogical. Any government that comes to power in Syria, I'm not talking about a transitional government, I mean any future government, even if it's the same government renewed, needs to think in a new systematic way to create a different administrative system in Syria, because Damascus cannot be the capital of Syria, even if it was historically the capital of the Umayyads. Forget history, it has a problem. Damascus doesn't have its own resources, and even tourism in Damascus is poor. It only has Shiite religious tourism to the Shiite shrines, and you have Christian tourism that comes to some areas there. As for the rest, there's nothing particularly special about Damascus. So, what's needed in state planning is to create things that give each place its own qualifications, so that every city and town has some kind of economic strength. This would create a kind of harmony, and in my opinion, it's a very, very advantageous point for us to think about. Decentralized divisions, because they make people, instead of moving from the outskirts to Damascus, stay in their own areas and develop them. Their regions have resources, but they need knowledge, so they need people with expertise from Damascus, from Latakia, from Aleppo, because there are major universities there that had capabilities. Of course, something very important has happened now in Syria. With the large-scale migration and displacement that took place, if some of the academics return from abroad, I believe they will play a role in their regions. It is essential that they do not concentrate their residence in Damascus, but focus on their own areas and all their work in their own regions. Many people tell me that they are offered positions in Damascus or elsewhere. From my side, I tell them, no, go to your regions, serve your regions, because your regions need you. Damascus does not need you. Damascus has its own people. And there is always this tendency, and now they say it bluntly, They consider Damascus as if it is up for grabs. They have said it in more than one broadcast, as I have seen. They say, the people from Latakia came and took over Damascus. And now we hear, the people from Idlib came and took over Damascus. My brother, you are in Damascus under the same conditions. Damascus is a very, very ordinary city. I wish for the people of Damascus to govern Damascus, and for the current government or any future government to let the people of Damascus govern their own city, because they understand better than you how to manage this area. 1,000 thanks to you and greetings to Damascus.